Hi, my name's Ken Fillmore. I had the privilege of being an assistant pastor here at Grace Baptist Church from September 1984 till December of 1986. And the senior pastor at that time was Bob Dunlop. There were a lot of great folks that I've met here at Grace Baptist Church, and thankful to say that many of them are still friends that have been very gracious to maintain that friendship for almost 40 years now. So I have some questions that were sent to me, and I want to mention those one by one. The first one is, what brought you to Grace, and what years did that entail? Well, I just mentioned the years. But how I arrived at Grace was through a program of New Brunswick Bible Institute called Student Extension, and they selected 2 male students from the graduating class each year and sent them out to churches for 2 weeks at a time, and I traveled for the year. I started early in the fall at Grace Baptist and then was invited back for the only church of the year to endure a second stint with Ken. And following that, the opportunity was extended to be assistant pastor, and the very gracious folks voted, and I was able to come in September of 1984. Some of the highlights of your time at Grace. Well, number one would be the very good friends that I met here, and which I still miss those day-to-day friendships to this day. The bus ministry visitation on Saturday mornings. Great experiences. A lady by the name of Ann Chappell, Lorne and Dennis Bingley, and all of that crowd. We had such a great time going door to door. Miles Foster would have been in on that. And then youth ministry events. Kevin drove the bus for us to youth retreats, and we had a great time. Couple of breakdowns there, but it was a great time. And then ministry with Pastor Dunlop. It was the first time I'd ever done donuts in reverse in a front-wheel drive car, was in this parking lot with Pastor Dunlop on a snow day when Grace Christian School was not present, but I'll tell that secret now. And then this is the first place that was ever brave enough to extend an invitation to Ken to teach the adult Bible class, and I love that opportunity. I still remember many of those classes. The teacher was regularly Jim Newson. It was the first time I'd ever heard the term koinonia was from Jim Newson's lips, so that was great. And one of the highlights here would be meeting a wonderful lady who is now my wonderful wife, Donna Fillmore. Third question, favorite memories. I guess I've let you in on some of those already. And the evidence of God's goodness and provision and hard times that taught you valuable lessons. Well, another thing that we did in ministry back in those days was Pastor Dunlop was employed, part-time employed by I believe it was called the Livingston MacArthur Seniors Home. My apologies. And now that I'm a senior, I guess it's not so bad if I call it a funeral home, but it was a seniors home, and we would go there weekly to do chapels and visitation. Got to know a lot of the folks there. Another highlight were the preachers that would come through Grace Baptist Church, the ministries that were represented, sometimes to the church, sometimes to the school, the singers, the ministry of Awana, getting to know the kids in Grace Christian School. The year that the church family raised my salary outside of the church budget. The church could not afford it, and families gave the money to keep me at Grace Baptist Church. And I realized and did then and do today, realize the sacrifice of that, and am very appreciative. And hard times, the thing that jumps to my mind first would be the McIsaac family car accident. Al and Linda and Jason and Jana, I remember that as clear as if it was yesterday. Fourth question. As you think of Grace, what excites you about her future? Well, other than that exceptional associate pastor that's here now, whom I've had no influence in being the guy that he is today, when I look at Grace Baptist Church, I remember the promise of God in His Word that He would build His church and the gates of hell would not prevail against it. And here at Grace, to look across the congregation, to see so many young people, young families, children, college students, individuals, as well as right up through to the seniors in the Titus II group, It looks to be a well-balanced congregation. The reputation of the Word of God today from this place is exceptional. And I want you to know that to other churches, including our own congregation at People's Church in Truro, Grace Baptist is a source of encouragement to us. So thank you for your faithfulness to the Word of God and your love for and relationship with one another. Final question. What would your prayer for Grace be for the next 50 years until Christ returns? Well, continue to love God, love His Word, love people. May this ministry continue to promote the foundation of Jesus Christ to individuals and families. And please call Ken Fillmore as your retirement pastor. Thank you. The Lord bless you. Happy anniversary.